So, but at the same time, you can apply for essay scholarships. If you have, for the essay scholarships, you must have to have 3,000 hours work experiences and at the same time leadership skills. So, if you have leadership skills and 3,000, hours work experiences, then you can definitely apply for essay scholarships. But one more thing, it is really, really competitive.
It is really competitive. It is really competitive.
Actually, to around the conversion rate to apply for SI and get it is like a 2 to 3%. 2 to 3% is very
I can imagine that. It is highly competitive.
It is highly competitive. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone, whoever you have joined us here today. So today we're gonna talk about study in Sweden, and we do have a special guest, Jenny Valkop from University of Boräs. And definitely we'll talk about mainly about University of Boräs today. So whatever, dear students, please join the session, and whatever the questions you do have, please feel free to ask our guest, Miss Jenny. She will be happy to ask you all. Give you all of the answers. Right now, I would like to go to Jenny. Jenny, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Avidit, and hi to all of the students. Yes, my name is, as Avidit said here, Jenny Balkov. I am a researcher and teacher at the University of Boräs at the Swedish School of Textiles, and have been there since 2009, basically. My main area is textile management, and I'm also, so apart from being teaching and doing research and all of these exciting things, I am also, as of now, working with internationalization. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Jenny. I know you are so busy, but still you made the time to be here today. So could you please show us the presentations about the university so that even our students can get to know about the university more and more, please?
Yes, let's see here if I'm able to share again. Thank you.
No problem.
So yes, and my presentation shows a little bit first about Sweden. I know most of you, since you are here, and know where Sweden is and so on. And then I will talk a little bit about the university and some of the programs we have. University of Borås is a very, very small university, even in terms of Sweden. You know, Sweden is not so very big, but we are a very small, highly specialized university in the southern part of Sweden. So, and a lot of the focus that we have at this university, apart from working together with companies, sustainability is really, really the core of all our programs that are available. And as you can see, you probably know where Sweden is, north of Europe. I won't linger on that. So, but Borås might be hard to find. And I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit small, but up here in the middle is Stockholm, the capital of Sweden. And about halfway down on the other coast, you find Gothenburg, one of our second largest city. And outside Gothenburg, you find Landvetter, which is the second biggest airport. And on the other side of Landvetter, you found the small city of Borås. Now, Borås being Sweden in total has 10 million people, and Borås, we only have about 100,000 inhabitants, and being so far south, we have these clear changes in so that we have a full winter. It's almost snow outside, and we have the springtime, the fall time, and the very short summer. Like I said, Sweden, and I don't know, you probably heard this before, that Sweden is, apart from sustainability and all the work that Sweden are focusing on sustainability, it's also known for its innovations. There are a lot of really big companies that was born in Sweden. I know that Volvo Cars is no longer Swedish, but the trucks are. So we keep that as our brand, and the origin comes from Volvo. So a lot of these really big.
Jenny,
Yes.
Jenny, shall I? Sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, I would like to add one more line with you here.
Yes. Sorry.
Could you please go back to last? I mean, yeah. So this is what I would like to tell you. JRK is another Swedish company, and this is what I would like to tell you. In future, even over there, I would like to see JRK's name as well. When you say to the people, hey, like JRK, this is another great company in Sweden, which is located in Sweden.
Oh, this is what you wanted to have. Yes. yes.
Because we are trying. This is what I would like to tell you very shortly. Like we are trying our best, and we would like to be one of the best company, not only in Sweden but all over the Europe. So this is how we are working. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, so in future, even you can show JRK's logo here as well.
I will remember to show that logo next time. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Corrected.
Thank you.
Of course, one of our very prestigious companies as well.
Thank you.
And the city of Borås then, if we look beyond Sweden, I mean, Sweden being, this is the campus area of Borås. Borås is actually known for its textile. Historically, long time ago, this area was not so good for farming. So what happened was that the farmers, they had to find ways to supplement their to get money on everyday basis. So what happened here was that they became, because we have a lot of woods, so they became very good carpenters, and the women became very good at making fabric and making the thread and so on. So people used to go around to the farmers and pick up the cloth and pick up the thread and pick up the ready-made clothes to sell on. So this area was very known for its textile industry, and that shows a lot in the city. So what you're looking at now is the campus area, and the campus area consists of three buildings. Here, far to the right, is the Textile Fashion Center, which is an old factory. It was built in the 1940s to be a factory for a artificial silk company called SKF. The company still exists and still working with smart textiles, but no production in Sweden since the 60s or 70s. So the building has now been rebuilt to host a number of different very dynamic companies that are connected to the textile industry. There are incubators, there are innovation centers, there's the textile museum, and of course the Swedish School of Textiles. And then we are also in this middle building where we have a huge, very nice library, but also informatics and business administration is hosted in this middle building. And then in the building to the left, this is the building that hosts most of the other subject areas. So very, very close. And to show you how small Borås is, the city center is just there. So it is like 2 minutes walk to all restaurants and the city center and shops and so on. And these are also views from our campus area, which is and here in the background. This is the library. The dots are the library building, and in the bottom right there is the Textile Fashion Center. At the being a small university focusing a lot on sustainability, we have the good opportunity to be become very interdisciplinary, both in our educational programs on bachelor and master's level, but also in research. I mean, in the big university, there's usually a long distance between business administration, engineering, design, and it's very easy for big universities to build these blocks between. Now, small university like Borås, because we are so very close to each other and there's not so many employees, we have the good opportunity to really focus on interdisciplinary research and educational programs. And we have 6 areas in which we have that are our specializations, research areas. First and foremost is, of course, fashion and textile studies, which consists of both design, textile engineering, and textile management. The second one is resource recovery, and that might be, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but resource recovery is really very broad. It's an engineering subject, it's engineering research, but think of all the food you left on your plate last night. Think of all the food that is left I mean, I've heard that 1/3 of all the food in India is going to waste today. What are we going to do with all that food waste? Well, resource recovery is focusing both on food waste, but also on textiles waste, actually, and what to do with that as when we are thinking about the circular economy. We have business and IT, which is a combination of business administration and engineering and informatics subjects, both in terms of research and education. And then library and information science, which is very close to informatics as well. And then we have an additional two subject areas, but in these 2 subject areas, we don't have offer any programs in English or courses in English. So I won't go into detail with these 2. So the number of full-time students is about 6,000 students, but we have a lot of courses that you can study on, just study courses, which means that in total we have 18,000 students. We have almost 2,000 different degrees. We have around 800 employees. There's one number here in this that stands out in relation to other big universities, and it's the share of international PhD students, which is 45%. Being a very, very interdisciplinary university, as a master student, you work very close to the researchers. You have good opportunities to start an academic career, and this shows in our numbers because a lot of students go on from the master's level to a PhD, which is very, very good to do in Sweden, actually, in general, not just in Borås, even though Borås is best, of course. And these numbers are also shown here, and this number is showing the internationalization indexes. You don't have to look too close at it because I know the numbers are small. I just wanted to point to this one in the middle, in the left column, because it shows that the blue line is the average number of international PhD students on average all universities in Sweden. And as you can see in Borås, we are above the average here in terms of number of international PhD students. The Swedish School of Textile being small, we host 2 brands that has been with us for a very long time. One is the Swedish School of Textiles, and one is the Swedish School of Library and Information Science. Now, the Swedish School of Textile started in mid-19th century, and it started off as the textile industry was really growing here in Borås in Sweden. We needed new competences. We needed engineering competences, and we needed management competences. So this school has its tradition from mid-19th century and has been growing ever since. The Swedish School of Textiles also is really unique in the sense that we host a number of really high-level laboratories, laboratories for knitting, laboratories for weaving, for coating and coloring, and for sewing, and a number of digital laboratories, as well as a number of engineering laboratories, testing fabrics, testing materials, electronics, and so on. We spend having these type of resources is really unique in Europe. We are the only university in Europe that has the scale of laboratories within textiles that you can see at our university. Actually, you cannot find that in the US either, and it's hard to find this scale of laboratories. We have everything from the most down to the most simplest hand weaving, hand knitting, to the most advanced. We have a machine in the knitting laboratory, the one that you see in the middle line on the bottom. That machine is there's only 4 of them in the world, I think. So we have very unique, very state-of-the-art. We don't own the machine, we borrow it, but it's there for us to use. Because Sweden, Borås, it really is the home of Scandinavian textiles. And at the university, we are working with research, everything from the environmental side of sustainability, to the economic side of the sustainability, to the social sides of sustainability. So all of this is incorporated both in the research and in our curriculum. And one of the things that we firmly believe is that in order to address these challenges that we see today, because let's face it, the textile and fashion industry have so many challenges with sustainability today. And in order to address these challenges, we really need to collaborate beyond our fields of study, beyond the different departments within a company. It's a challenge that we need to take on together. And as you could see, these are some of the research that has been produced coming from the Swedish School of Textiles. We have the yellow dress that you see in the window in the top right corner, for example. It's made out of fabrics from wood. And we have, so looking into new material, looking into finding ways to recover materials from previous clothes and previous textiles, to understanding how we can make the consumer buy less, to understanding how can you design in a way that there are less waste, which is the top. So a lot of the research are collaborative between different departments. Our design department, looking at the Swedish School of Textiles here in the beginning, the design department have both bachelor and master's level program, and this program is actually top 7, ranked as number 7 in the world in terms of design. So this is a highly ranked education. It is costly, but it is also you can usually students from this, they have their display on the London Fashion Show, and very high in demand. And usually either the textile or the fashion group are getting some sort of best in show rewards. They usually come home with 1 or 2 of these rewards. The bachelor program is a 3-year program. In Sweden, all bachelor programs are 3-year programs, and the master program is a 2-year program, and there are 4 different specializations: fashion design, textile interaction design, and performance wear. And these programs are admitted by portfolio, and later in the application periods open from January to February. So it's a later application period for this program. And admission is based on the portfolio and an interview. And later on in January, we will have sort of an introduction to how to write a portfolio, if this is interesting to you. Textile technology then, for admission 2024, the only ones that are open are the master's program. These are both 2-year programs. One program focuses a lot on the material side, looking into new materials, new way of finding new materials, recovering old materials, and also the very technical side to the material per se. And then the other engineering, technical textile innovation, are more focusing on the innovation side of these materials. Both of these programs are really, again, sustainability is of course the core of both of these programs in different ways. Now, this is a slide that shows a lot of different things. This is what the students on the first day this fall, when I asked them what is the most important challenge for sustainability within textile and fashion. Now, this is what the students answered. And as you can see, there are a lot of different things here: overconsumption, newest in prices, overproduction, and new materials and recycling and so on. And I wanted to show that because, like I said, taking on the challenge of sustainability is something we have to do together. So when it comes to the management programs, I'm actually responsible for one of the management programs. We are focusing on uniting design students, students with a bachelor in design, students with a bachelor in engineering, with students in a bachelor in business administration. We make a real effort to put you together and talk about how do we address these challenges? Because as you can see, overconsumption, I bet that the ones who wrote that have most likely come from Europe or US, where overconsumption really is the problem that is mostly discussed in media and so on. Whereas the engineering students are focusing on the overproduction. Now, these are the same issue, really. They are this two sides of the same coin. But in order to really attack this, you need to look at it from both sides and all sides. So when it comes to sustainability, we really make an effort for the first year in this program to make sure that everybody is on the same page when it comes to understanding how it is all integrated within the company, and start talking beyond the design department. What happens is that a lot of companies, they hire a sustainability manager. Now, the sustainability manager, he can only do so much, because in the end, it's the designers who design the products. It is in production is where they handle the processes, and the marketing agency is trying to market all the companies and all the products. So having a firm understanding of how all of these parts of the company comes together, that is what we're trying to accomplish within this course. And there are 3 master programs in management, and they start off with the same course. So it's the fashion marketing and management program, and then it's the textile value chain program. The fashion marketing program, the first year is the same for all 3 programs. The first year is the same, because that is when we are trying to really make sure that you are integrated across cultures, because we have students from India, from Bangladesh, from China, as well as European students, as well as American students, South and North American students, as well as students from Africa. We have students representing the whole world, basically, every year. And we also make sure that the students communicate across what their bachelor subject is. And this is actually what it looks like. So the first year, these are the courses of the first year, the ones, you're studying a lot of business strategy, a lot of management, and then in the spring you have 2 specialization courses, one in fashion marketing and management and one in value chain. And then for those who take the second year, the pink ones are the fashion marketing and management courses, which is more focusing on communicating sustainability, making in the digital marketing communication, you are working as a consultant for a company and pitching your idea, pitching your marketing idea to that company. In the value chain, you are looking more into the sourcing and the production and the product innovation and demand forecasting and so on, looking more at those processes. And we are working together with a lot of different companies and organizations throughout the whole. And there are still some production as FOB Fabrics are still have production in Sweden. These are my students a couple of years ago, and they come from, like I said, Austria, Bangladesh, Cameroon, China, Egypt, Ethiopia. These are some of the countries which they come from. And one of the things that they have to do the first week is to mingle like this, get to know each other. So they are sitting talking about everything from why am I here? How will I contribute to your network in the future? Because this is so important, getting people to talk to each other. And after this mingling session, they need to set up their groups that they are working with and be team leaders for that group. Everybody has to work as a team leader within the group. Everybody has to take part in teaching and building that network of people. And like I said, they come from different backgrounds. Some from bachelors, some from business administration. Business administration in Sweden includes management and marketing studies. I know that business administration is not so a word that is used so often in Asia, for example. You would have a master in marketing or a master in or bachelor's in marketing or management or something like that. But that is what we consider business administration. And then design, fashion studies, industrial economy is IE, and then engineering. As you can see, there are a lot of students with an engineering background. And there are also a lot of students with real practical background. They have been working in the textile industry, or they have been working with in another part of the fashion industry, which makes these networking so very, very important. I keep on talking, but the second part I would like to talk about before I end is about like I said, food waste in India. I just came home from India, so that's why India is the example here. Otherwise, I would not have. It's just as in China. and it says that 1/3 of all food produced in India gets wasted or spoiled before it's even eaten. So what are we going to do about this, right?
It's a great question.
Yes, it's a really good question. And here we have researchers that have been focusing so much energy, not just to understand the biology, how can we use this waste to create new products, but also looking at the whole system. I usually talk about in a couple of years, it's almost 10 years ago, so it's not a couple of years, but 10 years ago, they built a huge factory in Brazil for waste recovery. And they spent billions on building this factory, but they forgot one important thing: infrastructure. How were they going to get the waste to the factory? So even when you talk about this resource recovery, it's not just about the biological processes. It's also about the economy, the infrastructure. How do the waste come from where we put it into the factory so that we can actually make something new out of it? And these are some of the topics that have been a part of the energy saving as well, and of course water save, which is very important in the textile industry. Is some of the issues that has been part of the research subjects throughout the years. And also here, there's very strong collaboration with the industry. A lot of these research projects are co-funded by local or international industry. And so the Swedish Center for Resource Recovery is world leading in research and education and innovation within this resource recovery approach. And they have 3 master's programs. All of them are 2-year master's program. One is in biotechnology and bioeconomy. One is in polymer materials and the circular economy, and one is for sustainable energy process. So one is focusing more on the energy processes. You have biotechnology with bioeconomy, and then polymers as well, focusing more closely to the textile industry. So what can you do with all this waste? Well, according to some of the research, they have created new paper material, for example, based on. So when I went to China, I showed them a notebook where the cover was made from food waste. And a little bit more yucky side, they also made sure that you could actually grow new fungus and new food out of the wasted food. I'm not so sure about that yet, but I'm sure that with time, maybe you can make even me eat food that has been grown on old food. I'm a little bit hesitant yet. Just to end it off, as you probably know, the application period is between up until January. The application period for the engineering programs are usually extended, but remember that when you apply before the 15th of January, that is when you are, that is the first part of the evaluation process. And then those of you who apply later on will also be eligible for the program, but you will be in the secondary evaluation process. So the first part opens 15th of January, but I'm sure that resource recovery will be open a little bit longer. The management programs are closing on 15th of January, but the engineering usually have a little bit prolonged application process. And here is the process, as you can see, application process for all of our programs, except for the design programs, because the design programs are open January until, it says April here, but I think it's actually February.
Yes.
So this was basically what I was. When it comes to scholarships, we have very few scholarships. It's 1 to 2 scholarships per year, which is not much, which makes them very competitive, of course. But you apply through the university webpage, and it opens on December 1st. We also have the opportunity that if you do good in the first year, you can apply to get the funds that have not been used up, so that some students actually get scholarships for the second year because they have been good students during the first year. I don't know if you are eligible for the SI scholarship, but we always have at least 1 or 2 students with a Swedish Institute scholarships at the university, which we are very happy to and very proud of our students who come from there. Just a note before I end on the doctoral education programs. I just want to say this because for those of you who are interested in an academic career, there is nowhere in the world it is as advantageous to be a PhD student as in Sweden. In most part of the world, the PhD education programs are something that you apply for. It's something that you have to fund basically on your own. In Sweden, it is a job. That means that when there are positions open, they will be, you apply for them just as you would for a job. It means that you are getting paid throughout your education. It also means that you have the full benefits of the Swedish social security system, including insurances, but also leave, paternity or maternity leave. You have health care, and everything is included if you are a PhD student in Sweden. So in Sweden, we have to have funding for the full PhD program before we accept a PhD student, which means that in some cases, and this was also the case before when I started my PhD program, it happened that you would run out of money halfway through the doctoral program. The Swedish universities are obliged to make sure that they have funding throughout your PhD program, which makes it very secure, very, very advantageous to be a PhD student in Sweden, not just Borås, but in general. So you have sort of parental leave, like I said, disposable income, and so on. And we don't have so many. I mean, if you go to the bigger, larger universities that have a lot of PhD students that they take in every year, we have sort of 1 to 3 students per year that are accepted in different areas. But like I said, you, as a PhD student in Borås, you enter into a interdisciplinary, highly intercultural, I would say, environment, because at this point we are just, I think, 2 or 3 who speak Swedish in my faculty, which means that I have colleagues from all over the world to join me. So basically, that was my last slide. I've been talking a lot now, and I'm so happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Jenny, for the nice presentations. It is really, really fantastic. I got to know about University of Boräs a lot, and I believe our students are same as well. So yes, we got few questions from the students, like so masters of Sweden, what is the requirement? I mean, they're asking, like, to study in master's program, what is the requirement? So I think I can answer them. I think you can take a little bit rest. So see, to study master's program in Sweden, definitely you should have to have your bachelor program. You definitely have to have your bachelor program. And Sweden, usually in some countries, students do have like a 3 years bachelor and so on. Sweden usually do not accept it. In most of the cases, to study in Sweden, you should have 16 years of education. This is how it is. And at the same time, I mean, of course, the particular program you will be studying, you should have particular background, particular study background, then you can go for that particular programs. So from any programs, let's say you have studied something, now would like to study something else, to be honest, in Sweden it's not going to work like that. Most of the cases you should have particular similar background, so that you can go for masters. I mean, Jenny, you will stop me if I say something wrong. And
the only program that we have that does not really work that way is the fashion marketing management, the management programs.
yes.
There we accept engineering, design, and but this is very unique.
Yes.
Like you say, in most programs in Sweden, it is, if you have an engineering background, you need an engineering background to be in an engineering master's.
Exactly. And even not only that, sometimes it also looks for particular ECTS.
Yes.
You should have some particular courses, this and that. So these are really important. And at the same time, like as I said, 16 years of education. And then on top of that, most of the students, they should have to have like English proficiency skills. So either it could be, I mean, IELTS, TOEFL or PTE and so on. So you should have to prove your English language eligibility as well to study in Sweden,
And
right?
it's a really good investment to do the. I mean, in some cases, for some countries you are eligible, but you're never eligible for the scholarships unless you do the English language test. Most of the universities have that as part of their criteria for the scholarships. So
Exactly.
it's a really good investment to do good on these English tests.
Exactly. And then we have another more questions. What about the master's program tuition cost for fashion design? So one more time, I know you have shown it, but still one more time, just if you could tell them.
Yes, the fashion design, was it the bachelor or was it the
Master's program.
the master's program? Sorry. Well, for the master's program, let me see if I can remember. I can't remember exactly. I have to check. I think because it wasn't in the presentation. I noticed that. So I'll bring it up directly. Was it fashion? It was the fashion and textiles.
It's fashion, yeah.
So the tuition fee per semester is 136,750. So 137,000 is the first payment. So overall, the program is almost 550,000 Swedish crowns for the full program.
For the full program.
For the full program. Yes.
So, as Jenny is saying, like also, University of Boräs, we do not have lots of scholarships, but few scholarships, and at the same time, sorry.
And the scholarships usually just cover 75% of the tuition fee, and it never covers 75% of the design programs because they are so expensive.
Exactly. So, but at the same time, you can apply for essay scholarships. If you have, for the essay scholarships, you must have to have 3,000 hours work experiences and at the same time leadership skills. So if you have leadership skills and 3,000 hours work experiences, then you can definitely apply for essay scholarships. But one more thing, it is really competitive.
It is really competitive.
Actually, to around the conversion rate to apply for SI and get it is like a 2 to 3%. 2 to 3% is very
I can imagine that. It is highly competitive.
It is highly competitive. So, so dear students, we are having the sessions about study in Sweden and particularly about University of Boräs. So please feel free to ask. We are almost end of our session. I know it's Thursday and we are almost in festive season right now. So we're almost end of the session now. If you have any more last questions, feel free to ask us. Otherwise, we'll close the session for today. So anyway, Jenny, if you have any more final comments for the students, please feel free to say your final comments for the students, please.
Well, even though this season is really dark, I would say that University of Borås, I think that getting the opportunity to go abroad to study is something, regardless if it's Sweden or any other place or Borås, I think that going abroad to study is one of the best investments you can do. Me, myself, when I was a bachelor student, I chose to study in China. So I studied Chinese in China. And I hated the first week. If I had gone home after the first week, I would never have gone to China again. But you learn so much, not just about other cultures and about other ways of studying, or other ways of doing it. You also learn so much about yourself. So regardless of where you are going in the world, I think that studying abroad is one of the best investments you can do in yourself. And I hope that as many as possible of you here get the opportunity to do that.
Yes.
And
So
we are so welcome to Borås.
exactly. I mean, same thing happened with me. See, I mean, Jenny, like you see, I born and grew up in Bangladesh, and then I have studied in UK for my bachelor degree. Then actually I came to Sweden for my masters, and I have also studied in Belgium. I mean, for Erasmus exchange program. So I had the opportunity to study like a couple of the countries. So it's a really great thing, and that's why I think as I said, like a GRK is like to be one of the great company for whole Europe. That is one of the main reason, because it helped me out to understand about this education system, European education system. And so see, it's not like you are learning something from the classroom, but you can learning something from outside of the classroom as well, and it helps a lot. And it helps
It helps a lot, and it helps us. Really think that the most important thing that we can do in this world is learning to understand each other better. And the only thing to do that, and I'm going to quote one of my favorite authors, is say I usually do this when I meet the students the first time, and it's a book where the author is having conversations with his mother, and his mother was one of the founders of the women refugee of United Nations, that organization, and he asks his mother, how could you trust people? How did you know you were in some of the places where it was torn apart by war and famine and all the most dreadful things you can imagine? How did you know whom to trust and not to trust? And the mother says, you don't know, but when you work together, you learn. You learn about other people. As you work together, you learn about other people's perspectives. And as you learn about other people's perspectives, you also learn whom to trust and not to trust and work it through. And sometimes you're wrong, but most time you get it right in the end.
Exactly. I truly agree with you. See, at the same time, we do have same thing in GRK as well. We are recruiting students from many countries and also recruiting for many countries and many partners. Sometimes we don't see each other. I mean, face to face, but the operation is going on, and it's just matter of the trust.
Yes, it is a matter of
trust, and also it has because I got these experiences by studying different countries, because it helped me to communicate with different countries people. So now I know, actually, as author mother said, with experiences you know who to trust and who not to trust. And this is exactly what I can say, and I will say also same thing. Most of the cases I'm right, but maybe sometimes it happens here and there, so it's like that. That's part of the life.
And you also learn how to build that trust.
Yes.
Because you learn whom to trust and not to trust, but you also learn how to reassure others that you are trustworthy. So I think, the only thing we can do is to work together. But in order to do that, somebody have to move.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jenny, for all of the nice comments and presentations. We got to know a lot about University of Boräs. And so once again, I would like to say thank you for joining the session here today. I know you are so busy, but still you made the time to join us here today. And I would like to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance.
The same to you, and the same to all of you who are listening here. Yes. Have a very good Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I hope to see you again. I will meet when I visit, but the rest of you, I hope to see you in Borås. Thank you
Sure,
so
sure.
much.
Thank you. So, dear students and Jenny, once more time. So, thank you so much for joining us here today with me, and see you maybe in next session. But till then, please take care of yourself, and I wish you all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.